Hi, I wanted to do a presentation for you on how you can maximize your health during winter, during the cold winter months, and how to ensure that you stay strong and healthy all year long, but just starting right now in the winter months. So I'm going to screen share with you so you can follow along with me. Okay, so I'm just going to dive in. We're talking about traditional Chinese medicine and how to ensure your better health during winter. So one of the things I love about Chinese medicine is that it has the focus on balance. And when we are in balance, we have a sense of inner peace, we have a sense of okayness, kind of like a feeling like we can handle whatever is going to get thrown our way. And that's an important and nice way to feel, because when you're emotionally and physically and spiritually in balance, you feel like, okay, I got this. I can handle whatever's going to come my way. This past few years, we have not been in balance. Our world as we knew it has changed, and we have been dealing with COVID. And COVID, interestingly enough, has created, just because of our surreal existence, the alternative universe we've been living in, has created a phenomenon called brain fog, and where we just kind of feel like we're out of sorts all the time. And as a result of studies show that as a result of trauma, and we've been traumatized from this COVID, and our world, how we've had to live differently, has changed the neurological functioning of our brains for many people, and it creates a brain fog. Ironically, brain fog is one of the main complaints of long haulers, people who have gotten COVID and feel like something has changed in their life and their thinking and their ability to focus as a result of having gotten COVID. So that's pretty interesting. The other thing that is interesting is, in addition to COVID, which has certainly been a traumatic experience, we've had fear seared into our brain. We've also been dealing with divisiveness in our country, and families and friends have been torn apart because of their political passions. And we forget that we're just people, you know, we all want the same thing. We may have different ways of getting there, but relationships are important in our life. And so that's also been a traumatic experience in our world today, in addition to the rising anti-Semitism and the rising hate of minorities. We have to be really clear not to dismiss it. And in the midst of all of this chaos, in the midst of all of the hate and the rhetoric, our challenge is how can we find our own balance? How can we have a sense of okayness in the crazy world that we're living? And, you know, I think the only thing we can do is to focus on what we can control. Everything that's going on in the news and the media and the rhetoric, all we can control is what we have power in, and that's how we live our life and how we choose to communicate and how we want to be healthy. And, you know, what are we going to do about it? The practice of Chinese medicine, and this, of course, is the million-dollar question: how do we find this balance, right? The practice of Chinese medicine is all about finding emotional, spiritual, and physical balance. Let's face it, if you have emotional, spiritual, and physical balance, you are in health. You're probably in optimal health. It's a challenge to reach this, and it's certainly worth ongoing efforts to try and get there. Nobody is perfect. We are human. We're not 100%, 100% of the time. But if we strive to find some kind of balance, we're probably going to overall feel healthier. So most of us in this country focus on the concepts when we think about health. Oh, we're just going to eat healthier. We're going to improve our diet. And so we are focused on Western-based nutrition, which is the macronutrients, carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. And you can see that it encompasses all the different food groups. And ironically, so many people who are choosing to be healthy are manipulating their diet and cutting out whole food groups. So when you cut out whole food groups, you're also cutting out a whole bunch of micronutrients, vitamins and minerals that are found in those specific food groups. And there's a reason why we need all these vitamins and minerals. So it's kind of ironic that we're cutting out food groups. And so we're having to pop more pills in terms of supplement form in order to be healthy. It's kind of counterintuitive, actually, but it's something worth thinking about, that if you have to pop a pill in order to supplement your body with the foods that you're not eating, it just make more sense to eat it and figure out how to get a varied diet and still be healthy. In traditional Chinese medicine, we look at balancing your constitution, and how we appear on the outside is reflection of how we are on the inside. And so our emotions have a lot to do with our health. And the Chinese knew a long time ago that the link between physical, emotional, and spiritual health, and the balance of that, is what brings us to good health. And so if you're moody, if you're angry, if you're over emotional, you don't manage your emotions well, there's something probably not balanced within your life, right? And so I really like to focus on gut health or digestive health, because ultimately, if we have a healthy gut, we have a healthy digestion, it is the root of our health. And that's where we're going to start building on better health. So people with weak digestive health tends to have bowel disorders, constipation or diarrhea. They tend to be tired, complain of fatigue, poor sleep. I get sick all the time. I catch every cold or flu that's around. They tend to have a pale face. And I always think it's so interesting when I have a patient and they complain, say they have irritable bowel or, some kind of colitis or digestive issues. When I do their diet intake, it's the complete opposite of what they should be eating in order to strengthen their digestion. Most of them are eating healthy foods like smoothies and salads and lots of raw fruits and vegetables. And I liken it to a shock to the system. I mean, the body is already weak. We need to figure out how to nourish our bodies and nourish our digestion, which I'm going to explain to you in just a minute. A strong constitution, somebody has a strong digestive system, is going to be healthier in general. They're going to be rarely sick. They have normal bowel movements. They have robust energy. Their eyes are bright. They have good color in their face. And it's interesting that when somebody has a strong digestion, in general, they're going to be able to tolerate the colder smoothies and the raw fruits and vegetables. Think of our body temperature naturally around 98.6, 98.8, somewhere around there. And that's basically our inner temperature, our inner heat level. So if you jump into a lake right after winter, you lose your breath, like jump into a cold pool. It takes your breath away. It's kind of a shock to the system, right? So what you think about, if that is your normal body temperature at 98.8 or at 98.9, and you put the frozen smoothies or the raw fruits and vegetables or the ice water into your system, it's kind of like a shock, right, to your digestion. So if you have a weak digestion to begin with, and you keep shocking it, you're in a cycle of weakening and weakening. You cannot strengthen your digestive processes by shocking it all the time with cold. So in winter, we really want to be in sync with Mother Nature. If it's cold outside, even if you live in a southern climate where it's warmer, you still want to balance with Mother Nature. It's still wintertime. So in wintertime, you put heat on in the house, you wear warm clothes. We gravitate towards soups and stews because they're warm. So you always want to nourish and support your digestive system during winter when it's cold. As a dietitian and a practitioner of Chinese medicine, I'm here to tell you there is no one right way to eat. Everybody's body is different. There is no cookie cutter recipe for a diet and the only way to eat. It really depends on your health and your constitution. And in traditional Chinese medicine and TCM, we focus more on health and constitution rather than nutrition as we know it from a Western perspective. We don't focus in TCM on the macro and micronutrients. We focus on your health and your constitution. If you have a strong constitution, you can eat different types of foods. You can handle more cold foods. But if you only eat cold foods, you are going to swing your body into a weaker digestive system. So again, it's about balance. If you are ready or cold and you tend to get chilled easily, I would think it's so interesting. I'll do an intake and I'll say, so what kind of beverages do you drink? Are they room temperature? Are they warm? Are they ice? Oh no, I crave ice water. But you're already cold. Why would you put ice into a system where you already feel cold? You want to balance yourself. So it kind of makes sense if you think about it. It's counterintuitive to put cold into cold or hot into hot. If you tend to have a fiery constitution and you're very emotional and you get angry easily and you're kind of hot, you get hot easily, eating hot, spicy foods is counterintuitive to balancing your system. A good way to think about whether or not you're eating according to your constitution is to think about how you feel after eating. Are you bloated? Are you sluggish? Do you feel gassy? Or are you energized? Do you feel mentally alert? If you listen, your body will guide you. It'll tell you. And if you don't feel well after eating, it's probably a function of what you're eating, not something else going on with you. The first place to check with yourself is to see how you're eating. In winter, so going back, so strong digestion means that you're getting maximum absorption of your nutrients. That means that your body is able to utilize the micronutrients, the vitamins and minerals, and the energy you get from your food. So if you have a strong digestion, you're getting maximum nutrition, guess what? You're going to have better health. It makes sense. So wintertime is maximum yin. And yin is cold and it's wet, it's passive, it's introspection, it's when you want to sleep more, we want to hunker down. If you think about animals, they hibernate in the winter, right? It's the complete opposite of summer energy, which is young and light and bright and outgoing and represents a lot of growth. In winter, it's dormant, it's quiet. So we really want to balance that cold, dormant energy, right? With warm, nourishing energy. So in winter, the kidneys are the organ that's represented in winter. It's the water element. The kidneys, is interesting, they're the most fundamental source of energy for us from prior to conception to old age. Depending on your parents' kidney chi or kidney energy, that's what you inherit when you were conceived. And so that's your inherited kidney chi, your inherited kidney energy. Our longevity is a combination of our inherited kidney chi and what we do to strengthen our kidney chi throughout life. So it really behooves us to take care of our kidney energy, especially in winter, and to live as best as we can in a way that keeps our bodies in balance. The acupuncture, herbs, what we eat, eating for the seasons, healthy movement, all play a role in keeping us healthy. In Chinese medicine, additionally, the body parts associated with the kidneys are the ears and the bones. And it's interesting, you know, if you hear a lot these days about bone broth being a really crazy trend, and everybody is recommending bone broth for health. And if you think about it, it makes sense. If the bones are associated with the kidneys, which is the organ for winter, we want to eat more of these type of foods to support our bones. The nutrients, whether it's the nutrients, the marrow, the collagen that gets infused into the water when you make your chicken soup or bone broth, and if you use more bones, if you want to make more bone broth, it's going to support the bones. It makes sense. So I make a big pot of bone broth, and then I separate it and put it into little freezer containers and have it in the winter to support my kidney chi. In addition, you want to eat foods that are in season during the winter months. And those are the winter squashes, your acorn, your butternut squash, your green leafy vegetables, kale, broccoli, your lettuces, your spinach, potatoes, your root veggies, cabbage, celery, mushrooms, carrots, apples, and pears. These are foods that tend to grow more during the winter months. And so we want to eat more of those. They're the ones that support our energy, our chi and our kidney chi, and keep our bodies warm. They have a warmer thermal nature. In addition, meats are warmer in nature. And so we want to include the meats into soups and stews. It's better for you. It helps infuse your body with warmth. In addition, it's good to support your kidney chi with beans, like kidney beans. If you look at the shape of kidney beans, they look like a kidney, and black beans. So eating more legumes in winter is good. Having iodized sea salt is good in winter, but again, it's about balance. And if you have too much, then you can damage your kidney chi. And if you have high blood pressure, it's not good for you. So you want to use some iodized sea salt in moderation. And the kidneys are in winter is the 5 elements. It relates to the water energy. So we want to make sure you get enough water and stay well hydrated. Even though it's not hot outside, you still want to stay well hydrated to support your kidney chi. In addition, it's good to use some warming seasonings more in winter. If in summer, and if you're running hot, you would not use these because they're too warming. You would use cooling foods like cucumbers, which are more cooling. You wouldn't want to eat those as much in winter. And these seasonings, cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, clove, pepper, turmeric, curry, garlic, onions, are all use them, a lot of them, to season your food, and it adds additional warmth to warm energy to the food that you're eating, and it will also help balance your indoor-outdoor energy. I like to start my day with warm breakfast. I'm a big advocate of oatmeal. I have 101 ways with oatmeal. It's one of those foods as a dietitian that is so good for you on multiple levels. So these are just some examples of a good way to start your day. You want to try and eat between 7 and 11 a.m. your breakfast. So if you're an intermittent faster and you don't eat until 12 or 1 o'clock, you're really missing out on the time that your stomach is most digestively active. And that's between 7 and 11 a.m. Your spleen and stomach function at the optimal levels between 7 and 11 a.m. according to the Chinese clock. So oatmeal with nut butter. I put oatmeal in my eggs and make oatmeal omelets. You can put some pesto in it, mushrooms and onions, spinach, have fun with it. You can have dinner leftovers for breakfast. Who says that you have to have breakfast foods? You can have dinner in the morning and breakfast at night. Avocado toast with eggs. I put, when I make my oatmeal with nut butter, I can put that on top of a baked apple. That's a great breakfast. Beans and rice, make a burrito, breakfast, a bean burrito. It doesn't matter, be creative, but think about the foods that are in season and start your day with something warm and nourishing to really support your digestive processes. Ultimately, we want to be in balance. And when we are in balance, we have healthy relationships with friends and family. We have energy to exercise. We sleep well. We're productive at work. It's about balance. And there is a ripple effect in our life. It's when you're healthy emotionally, spiritually, and physically, you tend to have healthier relationships in your life. We all want that, right? We want to be strong, we want to be healthy, we want to have fun, we want to live fully. It's hard to do that if you're not healthy and if you're not in balance. So in summary, think about balance, eat for the seasons. Think about foods that are in season for every season that you're in. Right now, we're just talking about winter. Observe how you feel after eating. Listen to your body. It ultimately will guide you. In winter, definitely take care of your kidney chi, your kidney energy. Combine Western nutrition along with what I presented in terms of Chinese medicine for good health. You can do this. It's easier than you think. Just think about the concepts. Okay? All right. I wanted to tell you to have a great day. Take good care of yourself, and we'll be back soon. Bye.